Barry Diller, IAC and Expedia chairman and senior executive, is at the table. Good morning, sir.
Morning, all.
So we've been talking for, as we said, 5 months about this strike. You've been pretty outspoken. Who's the winner and who's the loser in all of this, as you've watched it?
You know, strikes are always like a miscalculation between both sides. This one is almost like the crew of the Titanic 10 minutes after the iceberg hits decides to strike. Meaning that this is not, given the convulsions that are going on, the time to strike was not particularly now, and the issues. Go try and solve the existential issue of artificial intelligence and how it will be used. They spent like months, whatever, trying to craft words that would protect writers from AI. They ended up in a tortured paragraph or two that actually does nothing for no one, because nothing really could be done. So
I thought you were describing the UAW strike for a second, because there's so many similarities. Another industry facing all these upheavals, and now they're striking as they're going into what could be.
Because that's when the contract was up.
I mean, listen, the writers, they could have, the economic issues were very, very minimal. They're not big issues. They will have some benefit, as these things, when you renew a contract, there are upgrades in certain areas. There's some protections that they've gotten. They've certainly gotten some things. Fine, good. They could have gotten it all in the first 10 days.
But you don't think the economics are that much better for the writers than they used to be?
Then what? Than what they had?
Than what they had?
No, they're a little better. They're not profoundly better. It's not like you're going to see. I mean, the issue for writers is the issues for the industry. You had this post-COVID thing, and Netflix thing, where you went from 100 series to 500 series, 500 shows within a couple of years. So everybody was working really perfectly well and lovely.
Don't talk about it. It's not ratified yet, is it?
Let me ask you this, though.
I mean, that would be a joke.
One of the critiques, and you've now seen it, by the way, it's happening in the UAW fight as well, is that there is a relook at executive compensation at the top of the firms in Hollywood.
What's this? Where's this relook?
I'm saying that was you heard it over and over and over.
During the strike.
During the strike.
Yeah, you mostly heard it from the head of SAG.
Right. Do you think that the people
criticized the top 10 people?
Right.
Which I said, well, you know, the top 10 actors make more than the top 10 executives for sure. By the way, that doesn't justify anything, but making these relative value kind of bimbo statements also doesn't really do anybody any good. What is the issue about, you know, compensation? The compensation for a long time in media has been outside the compensation limits in any other business. I don't think it makes economic sense, but there it is.
What about the transparency argument that in digital, in streaming, you wouldn't get paid for a series the same way you would have in syndication? And it was Netflix. It took a lot to get Netflix to the table to say, okay, we're going to pay for performance on that.
Well, they're not. Yes, they did get some residual relief, which they should have gotten. The thing is, Netflix, in one of its endless genius moves, said there's no transparency. We do not. The entertainment business was founded on the idea that if you got audience in a seats, you got paid per seat.
Right, you should get paid for performance.
So you got paid by how many people looked at your stuff. Netflix came along and said, no, we're not going to tell you that. We don't want you to know.
Barry, play out the chessboard now in terms of what you think the media landscape looks like. If we were sitting here, I don't know, 3 years from now, and I don't know what you think is going on in the regulatory environment. We're going to talk just a bit about this Amazon case and Google and the like, but what do you think happens? I mean, obviously, Bob Iger has already said that he plans to, I don't know if he's going to split the company up, but he's going to sell off ABC.
I hope
or he's
not.
going to, you hope not.
Listen, I think that I understand that the studios, when Netflix revolutionized, or the business went digital, streaming, said we've got to go into the streaming business direct to consumer. I understand that. But to go in at the cost level they did was unrealistic. So if you push this forward, the thing that has to happen is they are cutting their costs. They will reduce their expenditures. They will reduce their, so to speak, play in grabbing digital consumers, and the result will be there will be smaller entities. They'll be profitable. I'm not saying they'll go away at whatever, but what I do think they ought to do, and I've thought this for a long time, they have broadcast networks, each of them, that reach everyone. Not 66 million or whatever the millions are that are still, let's say, 47 million or so on cable. Broadcast networks reach everyone. Why not invest in your broadcast networks? Why not put some of your good shows, instead of putting them over here, put them over there? You control that. You don't control this because you've got a competitor that's already won the game called Netflix. So invest in that. Figure out how to make that cable bundle, which, by the way, the reason the cable bundle was destroyed was not really because of Netflix coming in on its own. It was destroyed because for 10 years, the producers kept jacking up the costs of each of their programs beyond anything that was realistic. The result is, when an alternative came along, people said, pull it.
Let's pivot, if we could, to AI, because that was a piece of the strike.
You didn't like
discussion.
that answer?
I love the answer. I think, look, actually, we're in the linear business.
And I love my bundle.
I think it's fabulous if we can keep the bundle together.
Of course you should. Of course the attempts should be made to take their owned assets, their old assets, and look to revive them. They can be revived.
How?
All right, sorry.
No. I mean, that's like,
they got horrible shows.
They would say, how do we do it?
They don't put anything on.
Because they said, okay, we're only going after this streaming because it's the golden goose.
Right.
That goose already goosed. Netflix got it. So it's not, by the way, that it won't at some point be a profitable business, but it's not a business by definition.
What do you do about,
you can't raise prices that high.
Stop funding that stuff, the streaming stuff.
Sorry?
Stop streaming stop funding the streaming stuff at the expense of the old stuff, is that?
Well, by the way, fund both, though. Don't just simply say we're putting all our great stuff in order to get subscribers, because that's that goose. Yeah. You've got a network, again, a network that is profitable, that has declining viewership. And why does it have? Because you don't put any hit shows on.
Okay, but what do you do about the sports piece of it? So you have the traditional legacy companies that need sports, want sports, and have to bid against Apple, Amazon, Google. How does that play itself out when there are going to be companies that can afford to pay more and maybe irrationally so?
It does not play. Meaning, what happened is the technology. I mean, Hollywood hegemony over 100 years, no matter what came along, they were able to buy it. They didn't invent cable news. Ted Turner did. They bought it. In other words, Warner's bought it. They didn't invent sports. ESPN came along, invented sports. ABC bought it. So they were able to suck up everything in the entire entertainment world until tech came along, and they ain't buying it. Right. So you have players, Netflix, Amazon, and Apple, that have vastly more resources than they will ever have. And
that's the end of it?
Yes. That doesn't
and so
mean,
if you're Bob Iger with ESPN, what happens?
It doesn't mean that there's not competition. That you can't compete. You can, but you have to find other ways to compete.